All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's open forum. I'm very excited to see you all here today, and I've got a little surprise for you. So today is, oh, don't be too excited. Today is a day that I told you to come in to learn about boosting your sales. Another name for what we're doing here today is goals, but you guys don't come to goals setting sessions. So I thought I would tease you with this, and it's going to be great because so much of this stuff is already done like goals for you. That's very funny that Christina Rordam has left the meeting as soon as I said that. Oh, she's back. Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. And what we're going to talk about today is boosting your sales, which is part of what goals, that's all goals is all about. And since you all came in here today and willingly clicked on the link to join this, you are interested in boosting your sales, and you are trapped now with me knowing that, and that you're interested in this. So as many of you who can have your cameras on, please put them on. I would love to see your faces and go through this stuff with you, but I'm going to share some stuff that I have done for you guys. And this is what all of this genius stuff I used to do for you guys, and setting your goals and breaking it down per weekly and daily and all that stuff. It is all so easy now. You do not even need me in your ear twice a year about this. So a lot of you set goals at the beginning of the year. Hopefully you're getting close to being halfway there, because in 20 days, 19 days, it will be halfway through the year. So hopefully you guys are already headed toward your goals. You're hopefully halfway there, but if not, that's okay. We're going to talk about this. I like to break it down for you guys. As you know, we take your overall goal. We talk about what needs to happen. It takes so much. Some of it is, quantifying your activities and what am I doing to lead to sales? How many phone calls am I having to make a sale? How many ads am I running? How much am I spending time and money to do this? And hopefully you're on top of all that. But if you're not, it doesn't really matter anymore, because as I tell you all the time now, AI can do so much of this stuff for you. Guys, if you guys are, you may be thinking that this guy's really into AI. I don't think I have a choice. I don't think any of us do, even us who are a little bit older than some of you other ones. It is the future. And when I say the future, I mean now. This is almost as big as the AI revolution, is almost as big as the internet itself. The internet, unfortunately, or the only reason the internet's bigger is because it's the infrastructure for all of this. But AI is crazy, and it's getting smarter and smarter. It learns about. I listened to a guy talking about, he asked Grok AI how fast it's growing. If every 12 hours, how fast do you grow? And it grows 5 to 10 years in human knowledge every 12 hours. So it's crazy, just crazy. So that's how much it processes. That's how much it does all this stuff. And now with the quantum chips and all that stuff, it's just getting smarter and smarter. And it's beyond what I understand, but I do know numbers like every 12 hours, it grows 5 to 10 years in wisdom. It's pretty scary. And that podcast was back in February or something, where the guy was talking about it. So it's already much smarter than that. So what I want to show you guys is how easy this is. I'm going to share the screen with you and show you how easy it is. Okay, so it'll pop up here in a second. All right, I'm a realtor. I sell 5 homes per year. Now, you guys all have different stories and different things, and we're going to talk about different scenarios as we go further. Guys, this whole conversation with me, I mean, I've done this many times with it. You can see later on, you'll see that it knows where I live. It knows a lot of stuff about me. I mean, the town I live in probably knows, I don't know what it knows, everything about me, I'm sure. But it knows the town I live in and stuff. So it's actually directed at local stuff for me as well. So it learns just from, I mean, I've logged out and logged back on. I do not have an account. I don't pay for any of this stuff, but it remembers me from my computer, I guess. It knows what town I live in, etc. So I'm a realtor. I sell 5 homes per year. How can I boost my real estate sales? Is there a more basic question than that? There's not, right? That's what we all want to know, right? And I was not specific in this at all. How can I boost my real estate sales? I didn't say I want to sell 10 homes. I didn't say any of that. It kind of took on from there. As a realtor selling five homes per year, you're likely working with a modest client base and may want to scale up efficiency. Based on strategies that align with current output, here are actionable ways to boost your real estate sales, drawing on cost-effective and proven methods. It is going to go through all of this stuff, leveraging your sphere of influence, why it works, how to do it. This is the important part, how to do it. And you can take this and you can tell it, tell me more about how to reach out to my sphere of influence, and it will give you a book on that. Okay. So how to do it, reach out personally via blah, 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 right? Client appreciation events to strengthen relationships, and ask for referrals directly. I'm growing my business. Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell? What's the question that I like so much is, what's next for you guys? You know, when you're talking to individuals, when you're talking to individual clients, when you're asking for referrals, do you know anybody that might be looking to buy or sell? Anybody that has something exciting going on where they might be moving or need to bring mom down or need to, you know, whatever. And you generate 1 or 2 referrals per month from your sphere of influence. Host strategic open houses. Guys, I know a lot of you are hungry for sales. There are 38 people on here who clicked on a thing about how to boost your sales, yet we can't get people to work. And I know that it's not everybody's thing to work open houses, but we're having a hard time getting people to work them. So including your own listings, you know, there's something to be said for that too. Get out there and do those. But know how you're doing it. Don't just show up with one sign on a Sunday. You know, get the marketing and get everything else going too. And there's a whole thing on how to do an open house. We'll ask it later. How to do an open house. What's the best way to do an open house? The most strategic way to get leads from an open house. But if you do one a month, aiming for 5 to 10 quality leads each, and that can be done. Some of you are saying, well, I did one and I only got 2 people come through. Whatever, but you can advertise these. There's still people going to open houses in this market. Build a strong online presence. This is obviously huge. Post on Instagram and TikTok. I know we lose a lot of you when we talk about doing that, but you can choose one or the other. You can do whatever, but you can ask this also. Write me a script for a social media post. Write me a script for a TikTok about this or that, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Write me a script for a TikTok about new construction in Lake Nona, in Winter Garden, in Winter Park, wherever it is. Set up a simple site with lead capture offering free home valuation. Brilliant stuff, guys. Have a landing page. You guys can do that through Real Geeks or whoever you're using for all that. Claim your profile to appear in local searches for Realtor Near Me. Gain 50 new followers per month. And okay, so it's giving you that kind of stuff. You can ask it to go more into depth about any of these. This is just giving you bullet points on these. Invest in targeted lead generation. Guys, you don't have a lot of money, $200 to $500 a month. Even if you don't have that, use these other things. But if you do have that, get a good plan for that. We talked about that before. I did a whole, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month and a half ago now, I did a whole thing on how to spend $500 a month, how to spend $300 a month and gain the most leads, the most effective leads for my real estate business. Ask it these questions and it will give you these things. But the most important thing you can do is actually do the work. Do what it says. You don't have to do all of these things. It's giving you some ideas of what to do. But I talk to a lot of you guys, and I know a lot of you guys are, because I see it. You know, a lot of you are close to giving up on your dream of being a successful realtor. A lot of you are struggling to pay your bills, and that is painful. I know these things. I've been there. You have got to put in the time. You have got to make up your mind that you're going to do these things. Do them, and you know, activity breeds success. I tell you guys that all the time. Activity breeds success. Just knowing these things, just taking 2 seconds to put them into an AI is not going to get you make you be successful. It's actually doing the things. So I'm going to get to all that in a minute, but impressive follow-up systems, all these things. Quick plan to double sales to 10 homes a year. Right? I didn't ask it to double my sales to 10 homes a year. It's saying that it's probably a pretty obvious goal to go from 5 to 10, and it's completely doable. The bad news is you're only selling 5 homes a year right now. The good news is to double it, you only have to sell 5 more. And I guarantee you, if you double your sales, whatever you're doing, you'll be a lot happier. So, and we'll talk about doubling more later. Year 1 focus: host 12 open houses, invest $300 per month in bold leads or Facebook ads, post 3 times a week on Instagram, TikTok. This is great. This is stuff I've been telling you, but it's right here, and it's going to show you how to do it, and it gives you the script for it. It does everything else, because I can't make you go out there and do your videos with you. I can't make you go out there and host your open houses with you. But it's going to give you a complete breakdown of how to do that. Even, what should I bring to an open house? What should I ask it? Or how's the best way to market an open house? Ask it all of these things and you can do them. I want to spend no more than $100 on this open house. What should I do? It'll give you something for that too. Okay. Metrics to track: leads generated monthly, conversion rate. So these are start getting into our goals, which is it's gonna be further down here. I got to later. A pro tip: start small with 1 or 2 strategies. That's what we just talked about, to avoid overwhelm. Track results monthly to see what works. If you're in a specific market like Orlando, which I never told it about Orlando, highlight local gyms like Solaire at the Plaza's amenities in your content to attract condo buyers. Now, for a previous session with you guys, I asked it about the amenities at Solaire. So it learns about me as I go along. I did not mention that this time. I've logged out. I'm not even logged out. I just out and X back in. All right. What if I want to focus on new construction sales? What do you suggest? This is just a random question. I asked it, and it goes into all of this. Yes, Vivian, you have a question.
Yeah, you just mentioned that you talked about Orlando in a previous interaction with the AI, and now it knows you. And that's, I think, something that some of us old schoolers, I know I'm showing my age now, aren't too much a fan of. Like, we don't want it to learn about us.
Well, okay, so I did that during a training session with you guys because I wanted to, where we were highlighting what you could do to show off. Somebody asked about a listing downtown or something like that. So what I suggest—
So there's no incognito version of this?
I don't know. I think it's going to learn that, but there's no reason to. I mean, I don't care that it knows I live in Orlando. It can do that from my IP. Everybody knows. I mean, you can Google people; they know where you live. But I'm not worried about that. But you don't have to say Orlando. You never have to. It'll just know that you're a realtor. I don't know how smart these things are, and you certainly can't hide from it. I know that, but I don't know. Just do whatever you want. But it's nothing wrong with asking it questions. If it knows you're a realtor, so be it. Guys, you can't be well, and that's part of deciding whether or not you want to be realtors have we've talked about this before, not on the level of preachers or policemen or anything, but we are public personas. You can't go out in public and be a jerk as a realtor, right? Because you'll get that people will talk about you and get a reputation. People won't want to do business with you. If you have your own accounting company, if you have whatever, you're kind of a public person, right? That's why I tell people you should probably stay away from politics on your social media and all that stuff, because you're driving away half the people. But so we're a little bit public figures. School teachers are kind of like that. It's not like you have a desk at a cubicle at a big company. You just you're a person, you're somebody, and you cannot be a secret agent. You will not. If nobody knows what you do, you want the whole world to know that you're a realtor. I mean, you have to. It's part of the gig. Some of you had 9-to-5 jobs before this, where you were. It didn't matter what you did or what you put on your, on your social media or anything else. But it does matter now. If you're going to be a successful realtor, you need to have a persona. You have to post about real estate. Yes, you have car signs. That's exactly why I never would, Daryl. Don't cut people off in traffic if you have signs on your car say that, right? You can't be a jerk in public, even if it's accidental jerk. You got to be careful accidentally cutting people off. They won't like you. So, definitely don't cut in line or anything like that. So that's your that's part of what you do do not be a secret agent. And that's what this talks about. You know how many of you guys haven't really reached out to your sphere of influence? I've talked to many of you and asked you about, your sphere of influence. Well, I don't really feel comfortable. Guys, you might be in the wrong business, because you have to reach out to your sphere of influence. They have to know that you're a realtor. You cannot be a secret agent. I know it hurts your feelings because I hear you guys say it all the time. Can you believe that my cousin used your cousin doesn't even know you're a realtor, right? Or they don't think you're serious about it because you don't talk about it. You don't post about it. You don't whatever. And they've got 10 other Facebook friends posting about all their listings and showings and this and that. How do they think you're serious if you never talk about it? Probably not. If all your posts are that you're at happy hour with your friends, they're not going to think you're a serious realtor. Just saying it, putting it out there. You either want to be successful or not, and you do because you came to this training on a Wednesday morning. So at least 40 of you want to be successful realtors, and you're going to have to put that other stuff aside. You have to make that decision. Do I want to be successful or do I not? I can be, I don't want to be too salesy. Well, timid salespeople have skinny kids, and you've got to put yourself out there if you don't want to be, if you want to be relaxed when bill times come. The end of the month comes, you want to be relaxed. You want to be comfortable. You want to be secure. Then you're going to have to put the work in, and you're going to have to tell people that you do real estate. I know it's embarrassing, but you got to tell people. All right. I'm kidding. You should be proud. It's a proud profession. You should be very proud. All right. Build relationships with local builders and developers. This is talk about selling new homes. This is stuff pretty obvious. New construction knowledge. Target first-time buyers and move-up buyers. This is all stuff that you guys can do. Okay. New construction-focused content. This is important. Content showcasing new construction expertise builds credibility and attracts buyers searching online. This is where I talk about, go through there. I love this myth busting post, and it will write these for you. If you guys remember, I did this in this class before. When I told them to write a script, they asked me what kind, and I picked myth busting, and it gave me a whole script of myth busting stuff. All you guys got to do is write out to one of these new construction things, take some pictures, take a video, and make a post out of it. They've got things that will do this for you. Okay, there are programs and stuff that will do this for you. And if you don't know which ones, ask AI, ask Google. They'll tell you if you're scared of AI. You guys know you've been Googling things, and Google knows everything about you too. So a walkthrough of model home, highlighting features like smart home tech, top 5 questions to ask a builder before signing, all this kind of stuff. You're giving people stuff a little bit of value, but they have to contact you to follow up and learn more. Right? And you're creating, I'm an expert on new home sales. You guys want a new home? I'm the person to contact. Right? Start a blog or video series, share builder updates. Love that. It talks about network at new development sites. We talked about this. Getting to know Maria at Lennar and Ben at Pulte and, Sam over there, wherever. Getting to know all these people. Get the CRM, obviously you put that in there. Quick plan to add 3 to 5 construction sales, year 1 focus. So this is where we start getting to goals, and we're going to get more into it here in a second. Partner with one local builder to get 1 or 2 sales. Host 2 buyer seminars at model homes to get 1 or 2 sales. Post new construction content 3 times a week, 1 sale from organic leads. Run $200 per month Facebook ads targeting new construction buyers. That'll get you 1 sale. You guys, if that gets you 1 sale in a year for $200 a month, that's pretty good, isn't it? So, and you got to track that stuff and see where they're coming from, but I think it will do at least that if you put your effort into it. Metrics to track: number of building meetings, leads from seminar desks. Okay, so I talked about it somewhere in here where, get to know all the incentives, get to know all that stuff. I might have fast forwarded through it. Get to know all the incentives, get to know all the lots that are available, get to know all the properties, the features, the amenities, etc. You'll learn a lot of that stuff. If you're going to go learn that stuff, you might as well take a camera and video it. Again, your face doesn't have to be on there, but it probably should. As a realtor focusing on new construction sales, okay, what kind of industry professional should I seek for referral relationships? Now, it thinks we're still talking about new construction. I did not want to talk about new construction. It answered the question, and it's got some good ideas in there. But then I said, and it gave me, again, it gave you the focus, which pretty much breaks your goals down. Then I said, same question, but without the focus on new construction sales, because I forgot I had gotten into that. And so here it is. This is for regular residential sales. Obviously, mortgage lenders and loan officers. If you guys are giving them business, they should be giving you business, or at least investing in your business, co-branding with you. You have a hard time coming up with $200 or $300 a month for ads, or you don't have a hard time. Either way, they'll co-brand with you. They'll go in for halvesies on that. So if you have $300 you're spending now, and you'd like to spend $600 because you get more leads, talk to a lender. Paul may do it with you. Somebody might do it with any of these lenders. Chad might do it with you. Chad's in here probably. Some lenders will invest with you, co-brand with you, with the understanding, obviously, that you're going to share leads with them. These attorneys, divorce and estate attorneys, brilliant, right? Accountants, brilliant. We meet accountants who do a lot of foreign, deal with a lot of foreign investors. If you want to sell You want to sell investment properties? There are lots of people who want to get their money up here from other. So some of you guys, maybe or maybe not in this meeting right now, have a lot of investors from different countries where they're having a hard time getting money out now, or they're not having a hard. They want to get their money out quickly, and you're selling a lot to those. And good for you. It's what you should be doing. And you can advertise down there. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. But working with an accountant here who helps them, if you're sending them business, they should be sending you business, right? All right, home inspectors, interior designers and home stagers, moving companies, title companies. Again, title companies, another one that will give you tools or invest with you if they can in certain things. They will do open houses with you, brokers opens with you. They will bring all the food and everything else and do a broker's open with you. If they're your title company and you're giving them the business, then they should be helping you out with your listings. Local business owners, financial planners and CPAs, that's kind of what I was talking about there. Strategy to maximize referrals: start small, 1 to 2 professional types, formalize partnerships, stay top of mind. Guys, are you involved in any of the top producer events, any of that kind of stuff? Get into that stuff. That's where a lot of these vendors are. And yeah, a lot of them have relationships, but a lot of them have loan officers who are just starting or doing whatever, and they'd be happy to invest with you. Local tie-in, quick plan to add to for referral-based sales, metric to sales. Okay, this bottom part that they keep doing, these bullet points down here, they're doing great for, they're starting to get into the goal stuff, which I'm going to get into more. Here it is right here. What if I'm selling 10 homes per year, but would like to sell 20? What should my daily schedule look like? So that what I wanted to do was break these down to the day. You guys know I love to say, look, if you need to make 100 phone calls to make 2 sales, and so you're going to do 100 phone calls a month, and you're only going to do it 5 days a week. That's 25 a week. How many? That's 5 a day. What time of day are you going to do those? I'm going to do them from 10 to 11 every day, whatever it is. But here's what I broke down. Key assumptions: sales target. Required. See, it breaks it down here: 100 to 150 leads annually. This is pulling it from everywhere. So this is what I was talking about before. Even if you're not tracking your own productivity or your own efficiency on leads, on money spent, your return on your investment of time or money, it's giving you what the average is, right? What it sees across the internet, across all the things that it pulls. Closing 20 homes requires generating, it's telling you this, 100, 150 leads annually, assuming a 10 to 15% conversion rate, 1 to 2 deals per lead. 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week with flexibility for evenings, weekends. That's your time commitment, right? 8 hours a day, it's 40 to 60 hours is what they're saying. Lead generation. And then you could say, you know what? I can only spend 20 hours a week. I've got kids, I got this, I got that. I can only spend 20 hours a week. It'll give you the most efficient way for that. That would be my next question to it, if that's the case. Focus area: lead generation, client follow-up, and professional development. It's telling you that's how you're going to double your sales. Modest investment, $300 to $500 a month for tools like ads or CRMs, as discussed previously. Here's your daily schedule: 7 to 8. Doesn't matter what time it is, though. You guys can do it whenever you want. Review your CRM. It's saying you don't call people between 7 and 8. Check your local MLS for new listings, price changes, expired listings to identify opportunities. Plan 3 to 5 specific outreach goals. 5 sphere of influence contacts. Email 10 leads. Post a quick social media update, Instagram story with a market tip like condos in your city are hot, whatever it is, right? Starting with a clear plan. All right. 8 to 10, lead generation. 10 to 12, more lead generation. 12 to 1, lunch and networking. 1 to 3, client meetings and showings. Again, guys, you can move these around, do whatever you want, but it's giving you all the things you need to do to double your business from 10 to 20. Would that make a big difference in your life if you went from 10 deals a year to 20? That's a rhetorical question, but think about it. Okay. Weekly breakdown, metrics to track, tips to hit 20 sales, local tie-in again with this. What if I only have 25 hours per week to work my real estate business? Okay. Here, let's read this first line. As a realtor selling 10 homes per year and aiming to double to 20, but with only 25 hours per week to dedicate to your business, you'll need a streamlined, high-impact schedule that prioritizes lead generation, client nurturing, and deal closing activities. What it's saying here is you better be really, really efficient, because you're not working hard enough to sell 20 houses a year. You're more of a 10 house kind of person, and good luck is what it's telling you. So you'll have to be super streamlined and efficient. Given the time constraint, the focus will be on leveraging your sphere of influence, referral partnerships, and cost-effective online strategies to maximize results. Okay. So there it's doing all this stuff. But here it's going to assume, as it goes down here, it's going to assume that you're more successful in everything you do, more efficient in everything you do. So it's giving you less time you're spending on doing these things, but just as many results, obviously, to get to 20 sales. So there you go. But it's broken it down even days. Thursday, Friday. Now it's broken it down to, instead of every day, it's broken down to the days of the week. So that tells you what you have to do. Now, anybody can tell you what you have to do. You have to be able to do it, and you have to want to do it. And 41 of you now are in here wanting to do it. And there'll be more of you who watch this on YouTube. But if you took the time to be here this morning or to watch on YouTube, you know that you want to boost your business. You know, you might want to double your business. You might want to add a little bit, maybe 10% more, maybe whatever. We all have different goals. You guys have got to actually do it. That is the biggest thing that we have. You have to actually do it. That's the biggest obstacle we have as realtors. Getting out there and doing the work. And it's not hard. It's fun. That's why you guys got into real estate. Should be fun. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you want me to ask it? Since it already has all this information we're doing. Yes, Christina.
I just wanted to throw a couple things out there that have been helpful for me. I agree with what you're saying about social media. Even if you're not a big social media person, have a Facebook business page and an Instagram page and just post, even if you just post something a couple times a week. You can get a free Canva account. They have tons of templates, super easy. And then if everybody doesn't have a Google business account, like a profile, you can just create one on Google Maps, super easy. I would suggest doing that. People find me from that all the time. So if you don't have a Google business profile, totally free to do, make one.
Excellent. I couldn't agree more with that. Guys, you might not be a big social media person. You might not be whatever, but I will tell you, I just Googled Christina Rordam Realtor, and I see all the things that she's involved in. I see obviously her page on our website, but I see she's obviously got a Zillow. She's got a Native Florida Homes. She's got a Realtor.com. She's got a Fairwinds.org. She's got a LinkedIn. She's got a Facebook. She's got Instagram. She's got, what else am I got to go to the second page. These are all things that she's got. ChristinaSellsOrlando.com. She's got a Homes.com. She's got another thing from hers, a Birdeye.com review, more reviews, Orlando Style Magazine, more stuff from her website. That's two pages of Christina. So she's out there doing things. She's got, so what happened, the reason I point all that out is people are going to Google you. They're going to see Rodney Harper Realtor, and they're going to Google Rodney Harper Realtor. Now, Rodney's a relatively new, I believe, but Rodney can have all of these things. Rodney can have a page and a half versus stuff. He won't have as many reviews, but he can have a page and a half of his LinkedIn, his appearance on our website, his appearance on his own website. Anything that's going on his website will come up here. If he's involved in stuff in the community, on his Facebook page, on whatever, he can be involved in all that stuff. And Rodney can have 2 pages, 3 pages of stuff in no time. But it is just when I Google a realtor, I just want to see that they're out there doing stuff. I want to make sure that they're a real realtor all of these reviews and all this stuff means this person does business and they're actually a serious realtor. And I think that some of you guys suffer from that because you're not out there putting yourselves out there as a realtor. And even your friends and family, your sphere of influence, you have no idea how strong your sphere of influence is and can be, because you start getting people off of there. And if you do a great job for them, they'll start recommending you to other people. And that grows your business and grows your business. The most beautiful thing about going from 5 sales to 10 or 10 to 20 is doubling your referral base, because that is exponential. If you've got somebody out there referring people to you, you're not just doing one deal with one person or one couple. They're going to have friends, family, their kids are going to buy houses one day. Their parents are going to move down here from New York. You're building a business when you do that. And so a lot of you guys ask me, is this deal worth doing? I don't know, they just want me to write a contract. What should I charge them? Blah, blah, blah. And I say, well, it depends on what the relationship's worth to you. So is it someone who's going to send you more people? Is it someone, you never know really, but is it someone's going to send you more people? Is somebody going to do business with you later? Is it, is this their only property? Because they'll say, I know this guy and this landlord is selling it to his tenant and he wants me to do the paperwork and I don't know what I should charge him and blah, blah, blah. If you're never going to do paperwork for him again, if you're never going to do anything with him again, then charge him, $2,000 for doing this paperwork. If you think it's somebody's going to do a lot of business with you, then do it for $1,000 or $500 or whatever. Depends on how good of a friend it is, how good of a client it is. Yes, Christina.
Yeah, just like when you said LinkedIn, I'm actually not too consistent there. That's something I'm working on. But I think probably, like, even if you're not big on social media, a lot of people have a LinkedIn profile. They're trying to be more popular as a platform. So even if you go on there and you post a little, blurb or blog about something going on in the industry, they'll push it. Like, people will see that, people will find you. And then the other thing, like what you're saying, like 90% of my business is people that I know as friends or somebody that knows one of my customers because I stay in touch with them. I think that's a big problem for most agents is they kind of abandon the customer once the deal is done. Reach out to them, stay in touch with them, and don't have it always be about work. Send them a pie at Thanksgiving or, a birthday card or a happy anniversary of your home purchase. It's so much cheaper to maintain a lead than get a new one.
Okay. Yes, I cannot agree more with that. What is the best way to maintain a customer who buys or sells with me? Okay, I need to tell it to forget the parameters I set up sometimes, but this is an idea of what it'll tell you. What's the best, you can ask it. It's going to talk about post-closing gifts. It's going to talk about that stuff probably, but that is great, Christine. That's the most important thing. And you guys, some of you are like me, getting a little longer in the tooth, as we say, and you don't want to work as hard 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Build up that referral base, because I see some of my agents who are a little older than some other agents. I'm not going to get into that, but how I word that. But some of our agents who are a little more seasoned in life, I see them. They're on cruises. They're doing this and that, but they're still doing business because they've been in the business 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they've got a referral base and they're still doing very well. And but they're traveling a lot and doing all that stuff because they're not having to kill themselves to hunt down business. And that you can do. You're building a book of business for the future. You guys have any more questions or anything? Make sure you're using these things, guys. Make sure that you're using this. This AI is very, very smart. Yes, Chad.
I just want to reiterate your point on reaching out to mortgage people and title people, especially if they're smaller or newer. They're hungry. Just because you've used people for a while, give other people a try. They will co-brand with you. They will try and get your business out there. I know when I first started doing stuff at FRI, I reached out and said, hey, I'll buy materials for people so they can do door knocking or open houses, and only one person took me up on it. So it's definitely reach out to them, because the smaller houses are always looking for business too, and they will spend money to get your business.
That's fantastic, Chad. Thank you. And Chad, are you still doing that with people?
Oh yeah. Anybody, I'm happy to co-brand. I've got door hangers that you can hold your business card. I've got water bottle cards for open houses that you can put your business card in. All kinds of things. And it just literally has our logo on the back, and then put your card in there, and it's co-branded, and it's we send them out whenever people request them. So
Awesome.
all we ask is that just have us out there and give us a shot. But it's hard to people, especially on like the title side and mortgage side, people get used to who they've been working with forever, and sometimes that works out for the best, sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of the title people will come to these things, or mortgage people will come to these things for you. If you don't like doing open houses by yourself, then co-brand with somebody. Let them come out to your open house with you. Chad, thank you, bud. So I'm going to be a little bit mean here. Guys, we have had a little bit tough love, consider it that. There are 40 of you in here. We have had several open house opportunities that have gone unhelped. You guys want to sell. I know that you're trying to sell. Get out there and work these open houses. You've got to actually do it. I'm going to ask it right now, and then Daryl, I'll get your question in just a second. What is the best way to get lots of customers in my open house? Open houses. Okay. Daryl, go ahead with your question.
And just continue about open houses. I usually have an open house about every other weekend now. And yeah, I do it for a lot of the other agents that were my competitors here. I called them up and I said, hey, your house is vacant over here. I don't work for your company, but can I have your house open? And they're like, yeah. So I do open houses for other agents all the time. Because I don't have my own listings right now. So that works. Also on open houses, I have branded open house signs that I put around the neighborhood that have my name on it, Williamsburg Realtor Daryl. They see my name. Since I do it every other weekend, they're out there on the main streets where everybody in my neighborhood can see. I posted on Facebook, and that gives me another thing. I didn't really do a business Facebook page for Williamsburg Realtor Daryl, like I did with Downtown Daryl. What I did is I went out and I found the largest Facebook pages in my neighborhoods, and I joined them. So I followed them, and then I post on theirs because they've already done the work for me. They've already got the followers. One of the pages that I post on has 1,500 followers. And my whole neighborhood is 1,800 homes. So that's pretty much everybody in my neighborhood. So I post on her Facebook page a lot. Neighborhood things that I do, all my open houses, my yard of the month. I just announced yesterday or the day before? I think the day before, which I'm kind of late on that every month. I posted around the 5th or the 6th because people don't get in their nominations before the end of the month, blah, blah, blah. And now I've got local businesses in my neighborhood that sponsor it, and I give away over $400 in prizes every month. And I've kept it consistent. I started it back in November, the Yard of the Month for Williamsburg. It's all all the villages in Williamsburg. I think there's like 7 or 8 villages here. And I do that every month, and I do it consistently, and people look for that. And like yesterday when I posted it, I posted on the 3 busiest pages. I got tons of likes on it. Everybody's congratulating the new people. I take pictures, of course, of their homes when I give them the sign and the prizes. And I ask them, I said, can I post it on Facebook? Of course you can. So just doing those things in the neighborhood, getting your name out there, that's what I enjoy. Oh, on the birthday cards, I just sent out another 7 yesterday. So that's another thing that I've kept on doing through the years, and it just keeps on building. I'm waiting for the inspector to call me from a buyer. It's a daughter of a buyer that I sold a Lake Nona townhouse to. The townhouse was for the kids to go to college here, so they went to college. Now they've grown up. One of them's getting married, and now I just found her a house here in Williamsburg. It's funny how it just turns over and over and over. So
It's awesome.
good luck, everyone.
That is awesome. So that started with one deal one time and did not end with that because you followed up with them and you've been their realtor. Everybody feels important when they say, oh, you got to talk to my realtor, right? If somebody puts on, and God bless them if they do, but they do this sometimes, they'll put a post on their Facebook or Facebook asking, does anybody know a realtor? And 1 million people respond, right? And everybody, oh, you got to talk to my guy Daryl, he's fantastic, right? Everybody wants to have a guy or a girl, right? Everybody wants to have a realtor. It makes you feel important. Oh, you got to talk to my attorney. We talked about this on here before. It makes you feel, what kind of people have attorney? Important people, right? It must be important. Somebody says you got to talk to my attorney, or they have a lot of legal problems. But it's the same, right? For a realtor to a little bit lesser degree, but everybody wants to be. Oh, you got to talk to Chad. He's amazing. He's my realtor, right? So everybody wants that. Vivian, you have a question?
So Daryl, when you speak with these competitors and you set up your open houses, how do you deal with buyer brokerage agreements or showing agreements?
Well, they're my own buyers, and they know that. Actually, I didn't call him. He's the one. Did I call him or not? We got talking and everything, and I just kind of out of the blue said, by the way, you've got a couple of homes that are vacant. Do you mind if I have those open? He pretty much yelled, heck yes, I want you to have those open. And it just started that way. And I'm like, wow, that was easy. All I had to do was ask him. And he has been here. He just closed his office after 35 years. So he said, you can even tell people that I've sent you over and that you like to work with me, and he just set me up for everything. It was a gift.
No, I don't mean the other agents. I mean, how do you approach those buyers about their representation?
I let them know. I tell them. I said, by the way, are you working with another agent? Everything's right out there. I said, I even tell them. I said, this is not my listing. I'm having it open for another broker here in town. And I explain everything to them. I'm right up front with them. If they have another agent, fine. That's fine with me. But I get other buyers, so I don't really care if they have agents. It doesn't hurt me in any way, I don't think.
Yeah, they are supposed to, just so you guys know, they are supposed to sign a pre-touring agreement if they don't have an agent, if they haven't signed something with an agent. If you're working somebody else's open house. If it's an FRI open house, even another FRI agent, that's perfectly fine. But if you're working for another brokerage, you should have them sign a pre-touring if they don't have an agent. I guess that was, I guess what she was getting at, and that is what has to be done legally. If it doesn't happen that way, make sure you include it with the offer. Make them sign it. All right. Any other questions on this? So I've done the open house thing here. The best way to do an open house. We've had people come in and teach classes on open houses, but this starts with your optimize the open house experience, tap into neighborhood and community networks. Like this kind of stuff that Daryl was talking about is great. Invite anybody who might be interested. Get out there in the neighborhood, do a walk through the neighborhood. I don't think they talk about that on here. Canvassing the neighborhood before the open house, letting them know that's coming. But guys, this is just getting your face in front. This is just having an excuse to talk to people. That's all that is. So, why is this idiot knocking on my door? Oh, you have an open house 3 doors down. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys, I don't mind if you guys just come check it out. You might not be in the market. You might not be wanting to sell your house just yet, but come by and check it out. Right? People love to be nosy about what their neighbors have done with their house, especially if you know that they moved a wall or something like that, or done anything like that, then come check out their house. All right. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming. You guys don't have any questions about anything else in the office? We are having a great year. Yes, Ann has a question.
No, I don't have question, but I have a few new listing. I really need help to do open house this weekend. One is on Oviedo, one is Lake Nona. If anybody interesting to help me out, please let me know. I will post the address on the Facebook. Bye.
Okay, so you, to get this right, you need 2 people to work houses, open houses, and one in Lake Nona and one in Oviedo.
Yes.
Okay, those are really pretty good areas, guys, to be working open houses in. So I would get on that. There are now 39 of you in here who just heard that. Hopefully somebody's hungry for business in one of those areas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann. Yes, post it on the FRI page. Christina, is your hand up from before or is it new?
It's new.
Okay.
So I was just curious. I know you and I were talking about a potential cancellation I might have to do. A friend of mine at another big box brokerage, he had a crazy situation where he did all this work, and the seller at the end of the day, like, relocating, and I guess he wanted him to like physically move like his stuff out of the house, and he's like, I can't do that. He's like, okay, you're fired. I'm listing with somebody else. And he did, but the big box brokerage gave him a conditional cancellation. So he signed the cancellation, somebody else listed it, got it under contract. At closing, he got paid. So I didn't know if you had, any suggestions if I am going to do a conditional cancellation for a listing, or have you had any experience with that?
Well, to be a conditional cancellation, there has to be a condition that's not been met yet. So in some cases, if they haven't paid their cancellation fee or anything they owe you from the agreement, like we talked about, they owe you marketing expenses. If they haven't paid that and they know that they owe it, then you give them a conditional. They're not released from the obligation of the contract.
Right. How long? I mean, his was, they listed almost immediately, and within 3 months they were at the closing table, and that agent had no idea. She didn't get paid. He got paid. He didn't even realize until they told him. But I mean, any stipulation on time
Why
frame?
was it only conditional?
Say that again?
Story. Why was it only a conditional cancellation, conditional withdrawal?
He wanted to cancel for like some ridiculous reason. Like he was like, you're not going to be my movers, which is not what he signed. He signed up to sell the house.
Okay. So he canceled it, but it has a tail on it of however long they put a tail on there. So
it was before the end of the listing period.
Right. So they didn't agree with his cancellation, and he didn't. Now you can cancel for whatever reason you want, but you still owe if there was some sort of, they had to have a tail on there of some sort. That's what got him.
So if I have like a 9-month listing agreement and they're canceling in month 1 or 2, can I have?
If they're canceling like these people that you talked about, they don't have a great reason to cancel, but they can cancel. They just can't, anyone that you invited to it or anyone who learned about it from something that you did or whatever is still covered for whatever that length is afterwards, which I think is automatically 60 days or something.
Can you have it be conditional for the length of your listing agreement? Like if they're canceling month 1, but you have a 9-month listing agreement.
No. Well, yeah. But no, you can't, because you won't know how long that is. But there is a tail that you can put on it. So every listing agreement has a tail on it, and I'm using the word tail. I don't know the exact words because I'm not looking at the listing agreement. Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
That is not official, like the pre-touring agreement that has may and wish and all that stuff in it that I always laugh at. All right, let me find the. All right, listing agreement says that it's in the compensation part, I think. Where's the termination? Okay, it's called the protection period, not the tail. So here's in what you have, what we talked about earlier today. At seller's request, broker may agree to conditionally terminate this agreement. If broker agrees to conditional termination, seller must sign a withdrawal agreement, reimburse broker for all direct expenses incurred in marketing the property, and pay a cancellation fee of blah, blah, blah. I'll have to look for the protection period in here, but it's in here. So anyway, if they sell it, or if anyone sells it within this conditional termination period or the protection period, then they're going to owe. So
Can we set that conditional termination period? Can we say, hey, it's going to be?
I think in their case yours is 9 months.
Yes. Okay.
So I think you can conditionally terminate it.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to, people tell you what they want to tell you, but if for some reason, if for some reason they are.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's on line 122. Broker's fee is due in the following circumstances. If any interest in the property is transferred, whether by sale, lease, exchange, governmental action, bankruptcy, or other means of transfer, regardless of whether the buyer is secured by the seller, broker, or any other person, which means absolutely anyway, broker, seller, or any other person. 2, if seller refuses or fails to sign an offer at the price and terms stated in this agreement. This is where you can hold their feet to the fire if you bring them a ready, willing, and able buyer and they don't close. Defaults on the executed sales contract or agrees with a buyer to cancel an executed sales contract. If within, so they still owe you if this happens, guys. If within blank days after termination date, the protection period, seller transfers or contracts to transfer the property or any interest in the property to any prospects with whom seller, broker, or any real estate licensee communicated regarding during the property during the before the termination date. However, no fee will be due to broker if the property is relisted after termination date and sold through another broker. So after the termination date, it's sold through another broker. You don't get anything. But during this protection period or during the conditional termination period, you do get paid. They still owe.
That's what I'm trying to see is like if I have, can I set that termination period?
Well, if you look at then read conditional termination, so it's a little confusing. You read conditional termination. At seller's request, broker may agree to terminally or conditionally terminate this agreement, meaning terminate it early. If broker agrees during the conditional termination, seller must sign a withdrawal agreement, reimburse broker for all their things, and pay a cancellation fee plus sales tax. Broker may void the conditional termination, and seller will pay the fee stated in paragraph 8 less the cancellation fee if seller transfers or contracts to transfer the property or any interest in the property during the time period from the date of the conditional termination to the termination date. So that's what they're talking about, plus the protection period. So that's what they're talking about. That's what happened with it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand, like, if we do a conditional cancellation, can I set it for the rest, have the conditional cancellation be through the end of my listing agreement?
It is automatically.
Okay, so that if they list with Joe Bob down the street and Joe Bob sells it next month,
they still would
get
do you.
paid.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
They need to know that when I would let them know that when they cancel with you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Because the big bucks got paid, but I bet it wasn't without a fight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And some threatening legal action. Any other questions before we go? So our sales are up. You guys are doing great. We are looking for people to, if you guys love FRI, we are looking for, even after I just beat you up in this meeting and told you to get off your butts and do stuff. If you guys love FRI, we are looking for people to do some video testimonials for us. If you're interested in that, please let me know. We would love to do that and promote you and promote you promoting us, which we will be doing. So if you guys are interested in that, we really appreciate that. I know you guys have done some testimonials for us in writing. We would love to have your beautiful faces do some testimonials for us as well, and we will push you and you push us. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. Let me check the chat here because I was not watching the chat the whole time. Yes. Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, it's been a great thing. You guys were up 25-30% last month. So great job. And it looks like this month is going to be great too. So things are picking up. I don't know if it's the summer working or what it is, but we had lots of agents contributing lots of deals. So you guys are picking back up again. I love it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll talk to you soon. If you guys need some one-on-one coaching stuff from me, if you for no charge, I'll help you for a little bit. Let me know. I'm happy to help you. I want you guys to be successful. I do care about you. That's why I yell at you. So I want you to be successful. I know the frustration of things not moving enough. But if you were here today, if you took the time out to be here today, or you're watching this on YouTube, then you care about your own business. You care about growing your business, or you wouldn't have been here. And I would love for you guys to be successful. So let me know what you need. Tammy from Orlando.
I have a question. It's already done, but I want your opinion. So I had a closing, and during the inspection, the seller must not have inspected the electrical panel. So when he purchased the home, there were cabinets screwed onto the two panel boxes side by side, and they had screwed cabinets over those panel boxes. So they were kind of like falling apart cabinets, and it was a high-end home. So we're like, well, you'll have to unscrew them. And I think we asked the seller, I don't even know if we did or not, but the guy unscrewed like part of them and kind of got in there, but they fell apart too. And so the nanny that was there said, well, we're going to get a dumpster anyway. I go, well, you make sure you just pitch those in the dumpster, because I had asked the buyer, do you want these? Like, oh yeah. I go, but they're really falling apart and blah, 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 blah. So we were going to get rid of them. So when I did the walkthrough, he's in California. I did the walkthrough. I really didn't notice, but I was with these cleaning people that were going to work for him. And they're like, and I looked at, I'm like, oh my gosh, these cabinets are still here. So I labored over, do I tell the guy that they left these cabinets? Do I let it go because it's as is? Or if he calls me later, I deal with it then. How would you have handled that situation?
So what is the damage here? So the seller
There's
was
no damage. It's just he's probably going to have to get rid of those cabinets.
So
He's
no, I mean the
gonna have-
damage. So how is he damaged? He's damaged by having cabinets that were supposed to be gone.
Well,
So
we didn't put it in
correct.
writing. We did not put that in writing. And so I probably should have, I didn't even think of it because they're like, oh, we're getting a dumpster, we'll throw them away. It just didn't even occur to me. And so when then the seller who was buying like a $2.5 million house said, well, I didn't take them because it would have cost me $800. So he left them, and he wouldn't do anything anyway. So it wasn't worth the squabble at that time, because it wasn't going to happen. So they were going to stay no matter what. However, even if we asked the seller, he wasn't going to do anything. He was a pain in the butt. So anyway, so I just didn't know.
I think that's your answer. What are you going to do now? Or are you asking what you should have done before?
I'm asking what you would have done.
But
I'm
the
asking
place is
how you
supposed
would have
to-
handled it.
If you were clear about it being gone, the place is supposed to be broom swept and clean. So all your stuff's supposed to be gone.
But those were attached cabinets. So half are still attached and half are kind of like cocked out. So, and maybe he knew he was supposed to, I don't know.
Sounds like he knew he was supposed to, because he knew how much it would cost him.
I know.
Well, it sounds like somebody told him, yeah, I'll do all that. I'll get rid of all those things.
And he took all the TV mounts, which the contract, I told the agent, I said, the contracts, this is what I was texting you about, but I just solved it myself. I said, the contract states he's supposed to leave all these TV mounts. So she goes, hey, letting you know, the seller wanted you to know that there's holes in the wall because he took 5 TV mounts.
That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable.
Well,
to say the seller wanted you to know there's holes in the wall. There's
yeah,
not supposed
so
to be
I
holes in
said
the wall.
he violated the contract. The contract states the TV mounts stay. She goes, where does that say that? And I go, in all the things that stay, that's one of the items. And I said, so I went to Best Buy. I got a cost. It would probably be like $2,000, but Best Buy might install them for free if you're buying your TVs. And she's like, well, will you split the cost with me? First time I stood up for myself. No, because that's not my mistake. And so she didn't want to go to the seller because he's a hard person to deal with. So she ended up contributing like $1,000 to my guy. And he was okay with that. So he'll probably get new mounts, put them in those same spots, and TVs.
Yeah.
So
it's up to him whether he wants to pursue the rest of this money or not. I mean, but that's it. But no, you can't. I mean, they didn't give you a choice on that. They did it.
I know.
So you can either sue them for it, or you can eat it. And he's chosen to eat it, I guess. And that's the same with the cabinets. It's bad business. It is not acceptable. So you can sue them for it. But I mean, you can't beat them up or kill them. So that's all you can do. All you can do with these legal things, that they are definitely in breach of contract.
So because I did the walkthrough, should I tell him, should I have told him the cabinets? I haven't told him yet. Should I have told him that they left these cabinets? I was just going to wait till he came to town and deal with it when he did that, because he's a really worrier. I mean, he wants everything done like instantly. I'm like, why have him worry for 2 weeks while he's in California? We'll just deal with it when he comes to town. And if I need to split it with him, the removal, I'll split it with him. I was going to have somebody come in on Saturday and remove it. And then I was like, he owns the house now. There's liability. I'm not going to do that. I'll just deal with it when he comes to town.
Right.
But I was so torn as to how to handle that, because I knew the seller wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. There's no way to handle it. That's it. There's nothing
Yeah.
fancy you can do. It's a breach of contract that the seller has taken advantage of people, and he will either get sued for it or he won't. And in this case, probably not, because it's such a small part of the deal.
Exactly.
So the only thing you can do is be diligent on that stuff. And if they take, I mean, if somebody's going to, I mean, I use this word and I mean it strongly, steal stuff out of the house that they're supposed to leave.
Yeah.
All you can do is sue them for it. You didn't get the police there on time. You can file a police report that they stole the stuff, because it really is stealing. People tend to think it's not that big of a deal. It's just they cheated a little bit on the contract. No, they stole.
But the house that the guy bought, those people took all of their mounts too.
That's completely
know.
irrelevant. I know. I understand that, but it's completely irrelevant.
I agree.
That's not an excuse.
I totally agree. And that's what I told the agent too. Well, they did something wrong too.
Yeah. So your California guy, I mean, he can't take all the old ones out of the house that he sold and keep moving it down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. There's no, all
all right.
You could have literally filed a police report. That's it. And maybe you should have.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people aren't serious about this stuff.
So if you're an agent and you're in that position, it's so awkward. And so, because I take everything on myself, and I have to get to the point where no, that's really not. I mean, it's kind of my problem. I'm a realtor, but I just don't know how to.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not legally your problem. You didn't do. It's nothing to do with real estate. It is literally the same as if I go into my neighbor's house right now because I know they're at work and I take their TV mounts. That is the same thing. It's stealing. I sold them their TV and I go take it back. And I say, oh well, that's not cool. That's
so, but
stealing.
what would your response be to the buyer when these things happen? And it's not my fault, the seller's fault.
Would you like me to help you file a police report since you're not in town?
Okay.
Because that's absolute theft. And we can file a police report. Okay. No, they're not going to send out the regular police line, not the emergency line. But it's an absolute theft. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Tammy,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
my last closing, it was literally negotiating at the closing table, which I don't know about you, but I hate with a passion, and I was trying to avoid, but it just kept creeping up. No matter what we did, they kept coming back at us. And they wouldn't even give us the keys after the closing was funded. And because they were still piddling around with, their whatever.